This is an Age of Empires 4 coaching video for Slackware. He wanted us to watch a video for him. And the goal of the video is to find preferably 5 things that he could have done to win the game. And he played against China on Confluence. This is a quick match, so Confluence is not a map within the ranked lobby. This is for 41 minutes. So we'll take a look at this. I haven't played Confluence in a long time because it hasn't been on the ranked ladder for a long time. I'll speed through this first part a bit. And I did watch this game previously just on super fast speed, running through everything. I would never play Delhi Sultanate on this map because if you look at the sacred site position, there's 4 sacred sites, which is very difficult to control, but also one of them is on his island. That would be, as Delhi, it's not that you have to win via sacred sites, but sacred sites is one of your win conditions. If you can get it, that's ideal. And the Chinese player would have to really mess something up for you to win via sacred site victory this game. So if you're playing Confluence, or really any map that has 4 sacred sites, it's going to be way tougher with Delhi to get a sacred site victory. And this one's not even feasible for you to really ever capture because it's in his base. So you get your upgrades like you should as soon as you build the buildings, which is ideal. That's definitely what you want to do there. I'm going to speed through the first part a bit. We'll mostly go through big, broad strategy rather than nitpicky things. You move over here to the wood. I feel like your build is a little odd. It's not a build I'm familiar with Delhi. So you actually scouted these guys coming over. I don't think you could have stopped the barbican at this point, but at least you know it's going up. But I mean, you have 0 guys on food. I'm not familiar with any build order that has 0 villagers on food. So I'd just revisit what build order you're using if you're not using one. There's plenty of pros / streamers out there that have daily build orders. Normally, you just gather the berries before the sheep. So here you end up gathering wood, going double blacksmith, which is pretty greedy as Delhi. Like, it's fine, but it is a greedy play. And you're playing against China, which is just better than you in the late game. Like, China's gameplay is they want to scale and get to Imperial Age and beat you. And you're going double blacksmith here instead of opening with units. You do have a lot of wood, but the other thing I was a bit confused in this game is you went 3 archery ranges instead of building any Ghazi Raiders. He doesn't have any unit producers down yet, so even if you had scouted, you would see he hasn't been making units. Ideally, I would love to see you build Ghazi Raiders here and go raid his eco. Maybe you can't get under the Barbican, you could idle him. But he's got guys on the gold out here, on the food, on the stone, that if you just built a few Ghazi Raiders, you could raid and cause damage to his eco. The other thing is you have a ton of wood and a lot of guys on wood, and you are not attempting to fish. So if you're playing a hybrid map and you're collecting a lot of wood, you should be fishing. I know these are just shoreline fish, but still, your food eco would be so much stronger if you had thrown down a dock and started building some fishing boats and fishing, which he ends up doing, and that's one of the reasons he's going to get a castle way faster than you. So I think what I'm kind of saying is, like, what's your, I mean, I haven't talked to you, but what is your broad strategy in this game? What are your goals? We know he's got a Barbican up here, but you haven't attempted to take any of the sacred sites. You're not researching Sanctity, which will allow you to take them. That should always be a goal as Delius, take the sacred sites. Even if you can't win, because you can't get this one, sacred sites generate a lot of gold for you. So if you, he's got no troops right now, I don't think. Let's see. He has one scout. So you could take 3 sacred sites right now with your scholars and be bringing in a lot of gold. That, to me, seems like an easy thing for you to do. We'll just switch back to caster mode for the rest of this. He's going to go castle here, and you're just making archers. So you're not... I don't think you're really scouting here to see what he's doing. I do like that he put the Barbican over here. That was a pretty good play, actually. Because what he's done is take total map control here. You can't get over this bridge without him seeing there are the forwards back here, and you can't get over this bridge. It's a little weird that he throws castle landmark up there, but... Yeah, I just think the lack of Ghazis and cavalry in this game hurts you a lot. You have no way to raid his eco. And now he's over here stonewalling up the bridges, so you're not going to be able to touch his eco ever unless you get siege to break through. So you are playing China, someone who wants to scale late. You want to make units to go raid and hurt their eco. Second thing is I would love to see you fish. You have all these villagers on food. You could just be throwing down docks. You could throw down a dock on each one of these sides and just be making fishing ships. He doesn't have any boats in either of those areas. I know he's going to start making palace guards here, and you kill the initial palace guards, but eventually you have archers, and the palace guards are going to be able to push through that. You do have a lot of archers, though, which I do like the archer ball. You end up taking a pretty bad fight here against ships. If there's an archer ship like that, you need to get out of there. You can't take that fight. He hurts a lot of your guys there. I mean, I do like the ram push to kick him out of here. We can see you're going castle. Again, you've got 700 wood. Throw down the dock on either side. Start fishing. At this point in the game, he's just got 48 eco, which is a huge mistake by him. He should be way outscaling you at this point, because he should also be fishing on these flanks. And he would be able to produce an amount of palace guards at this point that you would not be able to stop if he was doing that. Yeah, see, he's got 8 fishing boats out here. It's pretty nice. I'm not sure what he's doing the stone for. Maybe a keep in the future, but seems like he just probably forgot about his villagers. Yeah, so you're going to build crossbows here to kill the palace guards, which I like. Coaching point I like bringing up is when you hit castle age, what are your goals? You want to immediately grab all of your researches. So, lumber camp, you're getting. You need to get acid distillation. You're getting the food upgrade. You're building crossbows out of these, so that's fine. You know, maybe later on you build an extra archer range and get the archer upgrade, but you might not be building many archers at this point since he just has palace guards. And you also need, you have some spears, but you need some sort of frontline unit. Like, the crossbows do beat palace guards, but you need something to block the palace guards while the crossbows shoot them, ideally. You want to research things out of your compound of defender as soon as possible, as soon as you age up. And see, you have no front line here, so the palace guards just eat your crossbows and archers up. And you're building Springolds. I don't 100% understand why he doesn't have siege. You could maybe be building Springolds to kill the boats, which will work, but otherwise I'm not sure. You know, unless if he starts building nested bees, make Springolds. If he doesn't have any, like, why build Springolds? He's just making palace guards right now. I mean, at this point in the game, he's gonna beat you. He would have to make a bad mistake to not beat you. He has control of your island. You're not going around the fords here. You're walling it off. But there are resources out here you could get as well. You did a full-on farm transition, which you have 2 berries. This one you probably couldn't get. You have berries here you could get. Deer over here you could get. You could drop a dock here and a dock here and start getting fish. So if I had to take 5, I know I was going through a lot fast there, but if I had to take 5 key takeaways, what would I take away from here? I don't know if I'll get 5, but I would say 1, you're playing Delhi Sultanate. And when you go in playing Delhi, the goal is to capture sacred sites. And you have not attempted to capture a sacred site this game. It's just free gold for you. And you don't have Sanctity, you're in Castle Age now. But pretty much as soon as you hit feudal age, you want to start researching Sanctity. The other thing is you only have 2 scholars at this point in the game. You need more scholars. Your research is going to be really, really slow. We can see it's taking a long time for these researches to come in. On top of the research thing, so if a production building is not production or eco building, basically anything you can research in, is not within this influence of the mosque, which I can see, it does not get increased research speed from the scholars. So this lumber camp, this upgrade took 5 minutes. 2 scholars isn't going to increase it like substantially, but it still would have been much better if you researched the technology here. I'm interested as to what mining camp you're using as well. I would like to find it. Yeah, so if you're playing Delhi, kind of like a key aspect of Delhi is you only research technologies which are within the influence of your mosque. So you don't have a mining camp within the influence of your mosque. You could just throw down another mosque over here if that's what you wanted to do. More scholars will help anyways, or you could just build a mining camp within the influence. But this is going to take forever to come through. Again, 5 minutes. because it's not within the influence of the mosque. And that one's a pretty big issue. So one key takeaway, broad strategy wise, you need to capture sacred sites. That gets you free gold. You need to be researching Sanctity when you're in feudal age, so you can use your scholars to go out and capture these sacred sites. Second key thing is we want to make sure when we are researching technologies that where we are researching the technology is within the orange influence of this mosque. Otherwise, it will take forever. You are starting to research in the compound of Defender, which is good. Third takeaway, just something I would advise. You have scholars. So there is a free relic right here on the map. There's actually two. There's a relic right here and a relic right here. You have two scholars. You can take these scholars out of the mosque, pick up the relic, put it back. You can put the relic in the mosque, and that's more free gold for you. So as soon as you hit Castle Age and you're playing Delhi, you have scholars, just go ahead and pick up the relics, which are in range and accessible. Like, you're not going to get this one at this point in the game. You're probably not going to get this one. Fourth key thing is you want to use the resources on the map that before going into this full-on farm transition. So I can understand why you maybe wouldn't use these berries here, but he hasn't been attacking your flanks at all. So there are deer over here you can use. There are berries here. Of course, you can't get boar, so you can ignore that. But also, you've had a lot of wood in this game. You stack up a lot later. Like, you stack up a few thousand later, and there's so much shoreline fish over here that you could use. That's 2,500 food right there with 5 of them. Over here, there's a lot as well. It's making me select the deer. But there's at least 6 or 7, 8 over here. Times that by 500 amount of food that you can grab from fishing ships. So if you had created fishing ships, your food income would be doing a lot better. You would not have had to have done this full-on farm transition, which that is a lot of farms. You made 39 farms, times that by 75 wood, and those are resources which you haven't been able to use to come up here and fight this guy. Fifth, what would be a fifth key takeaway? So a fifth key takeaway, I would say, is that you have, like, your opponent has had control of this game the entire match. Like, there has not been a point in this match where you had initiative or control. And he didn't even do it with units. He just built the Barbican over here. If I were you, I would have opened with Ghazi Raiders, moved to his island, and seen where you could raid him. And that's still a possibility at this point in the game at 20 minutes. He has not done what he should have done, which is completely outscale you in eco. And if you made a stable, made some lancers, you're in Castle Age, so you can make lancers. You go across the ford out here. You go across the river. And at the back of his base, of course I'm using God mode. You'd have to scout this in the real game. He's got a full granary transition back here, which you could raid. A bunch of guys on the wood line. He's got no army back here. All of his troops and boats are focused on your portion of the map. And when someone's got their entire army on your portion of the map, you should know that their base is probably open for raiding. So I would say that's a absolutely key part of this game, is you getting in the Chinese base and raiding these villagers. When you hit feudal age, I would have immediately made a stable, if I were you, and made Ghazi Raiders. Because this Chinese guy did not build a single military unit before Castle Age. So you kind of let him do that, if that makes sense. If you had made Ghazi Raiders, he probably would have had to respond by at least building a barracks and some spearmen to chase you off. That backs up his castle age timing, which is a benefit to you. So, yeah, you got to get in here and kill some villagers. I know you killed some up here that he had mining on the gold, which was a bit of a mistake by him. But you do not want to let China sit there and execute their build order, get the castle, and make palace guards and spam you to death, because that's kind of what's happening in this game. And the later the game goes for China, the worse it is for you. He's also building 4 markets up back here, which I assume he's going to start trading. I'm going to put on super speed here and see if he starts trading with these. And because you have no raiding units, he's probably going to freely trade here, and you can't do anything about it. If he trades to this market, yeah, you can't let him do that. It's actually not even that much gold. But if you had raiding units, you probably could have stopped this stone wall, and he would not be able to freely trade at this market down here. He builds Grey Wall Gatehouse here, yeah. So, I mean, at this point, you play the game a while longer, but the game has been over because he's had map control and you're not raiding him. So, that's the 5th key takeaway here for me. I will put the key takeaways in the description of the video, and then feel free to let me know if you have any questions. And I hope this was helpful, and thanks for watching.